good. Thanks, everybody. Today's June 11th here on a Friday impromptu live stream. I hope to get back on it regular basis Fridays into the summer session. Why not? Let's go to Bitcoin. What's going on with crypto, guys? Folks, ladies and gentlemen, we are just sitting on an HSI signal. So here's HSI. This is Binance, so pretty good. They haven't been taken out by the government yet. So that's good. And they are, showing a lot of patterns. Let me get to that. Like that. I'm trying to highlight the HSI arrows because they've been really spot on. And that's what I'm hanging my hat on with the current situation. With HSI at some longer term numbers, okay. But beyond that, we got some problems, some issues. Right now, I've got some problems with the. Why can't I get that color? Let me try this again. That's a little bit better. Okay, that should do it. There you go. So pink arrows. That's right. I'm only joking though with that. So Bitcoin right now sitting at this, going sideways at this HSI. I haven't liked it. Why? Because it's the first lower HSI on the bullish side in since we started this whole uptrend. So down here, that's how we normally look at it. HSI will trigger and you have a check back, but this is not normal. Okay, this is not what we typically see with HSIs bottoming. They'd have the check back and then they will go. This has been a little scary, and I want to highlight something structurally that makes this current formation a little challenging for the low. And it almost has to be a double bottom here, but it also presents a lot of issues with trying to draw XABCD structure. So take a look. This is something right here on the when we crash down of this individual bar going back, what is that, the 18th? Right there. So what happened on this bar? It created the high and the low. So there's the high, here's the low, and what does it do? Well, it makes it really difficult to now produce an X ABCD, a W formation. Why? Because we come down here, let's just use the tool. I'm just tracing this out. If that's X to A, wherever X may begin, well, we can't go there, and we almost have to go there for our B point. And I think you guys see what I'm getting at, okay? The fact that we can't draw that W structure. And take a look. We got taken out on that prior low. That creates a really funky W formation here. It's kind of like that, and then maybe we get like that if we could have an XABCD. And depending on how this shapes up, okay, these little formations, these little price action gyrations, if you will, then lend itself to saying, okay, well, if we can't draw the W structure, then what? Because where can we get an M or a W? And that's, I dial it back. This is the issue. I know many of you follow my work on Twitter and the posts that I put up. I'll go there in a second, see if we can just even look at some of the recent ones. But really important to notice that we are just not, we're not shaping up with this kind of formation to give us what we need to get there, to get a W formation. So what is it? It means it's still probably in a downtrend situation where we're still dealing with some kind of larger consolidation. at a minimum, and I think I've traced this out before. There's a few different structures we can look at. We could say one, it's a shark. Why? Because there's our x to a, well, zero, really. That's what it should be. Should be zero. But there's the shark with your 1618. I mean, your minimums of 1618 and the 886 hitting. And that your 1618 is like right at 31,000, maybe 30,900. So this is these kind of small but very finite differences of where we are relative to the whole structure basically gives us the make or break. It gives us the whole fact, and this is why I was really screaming it beginning of the week, that if we break under this 31,000, and I was also saying if we can't close above it, here was from what, 3 days ago, that essentially what are we looking at? If we can't hold here, if this is not a corrective structure, then we're looking at another reset. I'm not trying to say that to bring FUD to the space. I'm just saying that this is, if everyone wants to go off of historic patterns, stock to flow percentage, and compare different markets, you have to basically draw a line and say, I will allow for this much of a correction before I have to say this is a full reset. I'm not saying it's a full reset yet, but if we close and we don't have much development here, that essentially you have to be looking at the floor right here, and then there has to be some real strong development. At a minimum, what do we know about shark patterns? They turn into 5-0s. So we could look at the 5-0. Maybe we go sideways and we do something like this. We go up to a 50 because we know that has to be a 5-0 at a minimum. So you would have to say that that holds. You get a B point somewhere around 50 that takes you, if you're lucky, back up to 48, and then you do the massive W formation to the 886, give you a bat. Why do we make that assumptions? Well, we're looking within the framework of harmonic structures, typically M and W. We have a shark pattern here. There is another bat that I will trace out here in a second, but just looking for, what does the framework tell us? What do the structural possibilities of this alignment tell us about where this could go? One, for sure, I think everyone's there and knows that 30,000 has to hold, is got to be the floor. There's no 28,000, there's no 26,000. It's basically like 32, 33. Now here's your bat. Here's your other bat, okay? Back to back, like that. So just tracing out WM formations, that's where we get. And that is absolutely, those kind of assumptions are, I think, really sound. And we have, the triggers that we want to see, especially with, we hit the 886 off of the swing. Think about that. That's essentially the 886 for 2021. So if you want to be precise, okay, there's the exact low. I mean, here's the beginning of the year right there. And so the exact low that we use for 2021 is really like there on the 5th. Fourth, it's the 5th. And so your 886 for the year is like right there. Yeah, about 32.3 or so. And that's the way to think about it for the year. Okay, forget what happened in 2020. Let's just analyze what's happening for this year, and that's your XA. So you have a beautiful bat, 2021. You have stabilization, not the prettiest of consolidations, and we typically would want to see a reaction. Here's the other daily. Again, this is on Binance, that we did have HSI. That's this indicator here. RSI is similar, but here's amplified RSI, guys. This is the structure. This is the indicator that the kind of the hyper RSI, I like to refer it as, where it's going to show us a lot more. Look what we have here. There's a W formation, complex structure. Now, how far does this go? We got to see. It hasn't, it hit the 50 line, okay, but it hasn't rolled over. All of this speaks of consolidation. We could go up, we could have a little mini rally off of this level, and it has to hold. That's the thing we know for sure. There's really no possibility under 31,000. You don't want to be there. But now we want to see what's going to happen within this consolidation. If we're going to enter these phases of looking at this thing, we rally and come back. Check out where we are. All right, so summer starts in about 10 days. And we go a couple months. I know we have some big announcements from Ethereum, Cardano. But what else is going to happen this summer that would be narratives to drive the space? I was at the Bitcoin conference last week. It was really interesting. I had a great time. All the people I met, fantastic. Shout out to Mitch Ray and crew. You guys are great, and it really made me think about a lot of things that I want to do in this space with such fantastic people. I mean, I think it was really, I love the energy, and I'm glad to see people committed. I had great seats, the whole 9 yards. It really was a great experience for me to be outside of just the screens. But I always wanted at the right price, and that's what I'm doing all day long. And I think a lot of these markets will eventually give us another opportunity and, um, you know, generate the larger signal that we're looking for. But most of them are in this consolidation phase. Most of them. Here's Binance Coin. Okay, is another one. We did a shark at the 886. We're just a corrective, go up to the 50 minimum. So at least that is constructive at the moment, but it's going to need time. We have, here's the other one. Let's look at Ethereum. I posted this. Now, Ethereum on the daily, this rollover, not good. Not what we want to see. On the 4-hour chart, okay, this is a bit better. So there's an automated crab pattern. And let me highlight the arrows so that all those pink arrows are HSI, but let's make them red and green so we can separate the two and see, we're looking for bullish, obviously, against this pattern. There you go. So let's look at the green arrows. So we had a type 1 reaction on that crash and then back up to 2886. That's target 1, folks, and that's been obviously the ceiling. We are right back here. Looks like we're going to check back. HSI one more time. Unfortunately, that's 2300 still with the whole PRZ at stake. This could be a delayed factor. This could be a delayed move where we do this check back. We get kind of a secondary test and then we go to target 2. But don't, beyond that, that's your best case scenario. Really, it's just for mooning, if you're looking for moons, this is not the time. We're not there. There's a whole lot of work that has to be done. And I think the real problem has been across the board, folks, the reaction, the crash reaction was nada. And and all of them are, everybody can see this. There's bearish flags left and right. So unless something develops, unless we can get a stronger move, maybe at least Ethereum has a better construction here where you have X, A, B, C, and then possibly D for a big bat pattern up there. Yeah, that's your best hope, and you're already scraping against these C points. This has to hold this weekend or whatever, and below that, let's just step out. It's funny because a lot of these guys say, okay, if in doubt, zoom out, and you just, I've seen them say that, but let's zoom out because longer term, still okay. But much like the Bitcoin chart, you're at a point where this uptrend needs to continue, and we're definitely dragging. You have a whole number of measures that are not really getting where they need to be. I would be fine if this goes sideways, but don't want this thing to come back too much further. And yeah, I don't like moves that retrace too much. I think I mentioned this before, in the major markets, if you look back historically, we've never really done more than a 40% correction all time without having a total situation of being wrecked. It's just something to think about. The worst corrections are 30%, maybe 35%. Beyond that, you start to really fall apart. And for crypto, we can just run what our all-time metrics are from this correction. And I'll show you guys, you're holding that 618. Isn't that amazing? All time 618 was at 1700 almost exactly. I mean, it would be great if we could get. I saw this. Somebody posted they were looking in Doge, hoping for another all-time ABCD. Maybe that could take shape if Ethereum could get off of these lows. For your just for your moon scenario, that's essentially what you're hoping is this is a massive B point, and then you do an all-time ABCD from here. That's again, folks. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that it's for these moon scenarios. That is, that's your best chance. And again, got to be vigilant on where we are with our indicators. We didn't get it on a daily, but interestingly enough, on we do have the complex formation that I was really talking about back in May that did come to fruition. It just happened a lot more quickly than we thought. We looked at that M formation. We were looking for this thing to come all the way down, and it did, and it looks like it wants one more time. If we got one more oversold test, that would definitely be the marker of from an oversold perspective. You'd have confirmation on the support side, and we would still expect this to come back, this complex structure, M formation in the overbought, just on a longer term scale to come back. And that's where if you were looking for a trigger for a swing position longer term, maybe this thing bottoms out in a month or two. It would have to be in this fashion. So again, it's a lot of work left to do. And personally, I would want to see a really nice HSI. Depending on the data feed, we did get a couple. Um, that's Bitrex. Where's Coinbase? Bitstamp. There's Dollar Tether, Binance. Isn't it interesting how these different feeds, it's really, I just find that depending on your time zone, there are some differences. So you got to go through. But the one thing that in this mess of trying to figure out what crypto is going to do, just the thing I keep coming back to is where can I draw the M and W formations? And here's Coinbase's data feed. Now, this is something personally I don't want to see happen, but because I've got to make a decision on whether I'm going to add or what I'm going to do. I'm still holding Ethereum. I entered back in. I think last time we talked, I said I was 97% out, and then a week later, I started moving some back in, and it's been nothing but sideways. Ethereum, Cardano, EOS, and just a tiny bit of Doge. But what if we have that in Ethereum? What if we get an M formation with a B point at the 618 that establishes the M formation as the Gartley, and then we come back for the retest? Not only in that, but look, we get the final RSI BAM to come down here on amplified. One more time. That completes. Bang. Then you go. I did mention this too. I think I mentioned this to gold members is that let's count the bars. Are we even 30 bars? That's something kind of a minimum rule for most harmonic patterns that I want, everyone should be mindful of, that a pattern really needs to have 30 bars daily, 30 days, 4 hour, 34-hour bars. TradingView's got this great little measurement stick. Just put it on the bar that you want to start. We always want to start with the X. Click that, go to 30. 30 bars does not happen until the 21st, right there, 22nd. So it's still 11 days from that. Something to consider. All of this says to me, don't be surprised if this thing just grinds and grinds for another week or more. So let's stay on that. Let's stay on just that whole thing. I'll show one or two more. Here's Cardano, another one, just not doing it, right? If we zoom out, okay, great. If we zoom out, say go to the weekly, folks, that's a beautiful uptrend, right? But it's going to maintain that uptrend. So it's kind of ripping like that. And there's no other scenario. We don't want it to drop. We don't want it breaking lows. We don't want it going below even monthly lows. If AC is 95%, is it okay with that pattern? Yeah, most cases definitely. But with the Cardano here, we're just watching that uptrend. And then again, go to the daily. We have the same kind of a thing. Can you draw an XABCD? Can you get an M, or can you get an M formation here somewhere? That's on the daily? No. It's not really, maybe a shark pattern here. Don't like it. I don't want to see a shark. And again, this has the problem with this price bar, much like the price bar in Bitcoin. You have a big downdraft. That takes away your ability to do some kind of M formation. And the other thing is that, okay, if we did a W, let's say we're just trying to draw an M or a W. We can't draw it here because we would have to go and use that high. So we can't use that high or that high. And that's just something where, interestingly enough, the geometry of the price action is not giving you a construction you want to see. If we do, let's say maybe it's a W formation, okay, then we're looking for a B point. So there's a possible B point, sure, or that one. Okay, that's about a 618. This one almost 618. Both of those are kind of speaking of a Gartley. So something like this, and then you'd want to hope to go to the 786, or you see how this geometry is not working. 786 would be there. You don't have an ABCD. It's just not really what you want to see here. So again, caution in this space. Caution in the fact that it's going to take time and needs work before it would generate another signal to get going again. So definitely check this out. I mean, the next couple of days, the way this kind of comes back is really important to the whole formation of it all. Let's go to AMC. Someone just posted that, told me it's ripping. I want to highlight this because this has been something I've talked about, and I've been way in front of this for a long time, and now you're seeing that major run. So what happened today? Here's a 5-minute. I'll pull up a 1-minute as well. Been a lot of great patterns in this, and I would look at this kind of a stock as a day trading stock. And I think with the summer action the way it is, I mean, look at the action in NASDAQ today, the last week or so, it's just not indicative of anything that's of a market that's moving. You have a lot of individual areas that are moving, and some good day trading candidates. But beyond that, I would not be holding much. And so here's AMC. We're working on the TradingView platform here, and I like to use the 1-minute and the 5-minute on these, and just review some of the patterns, even from the last 24 hours. that people can take advantage of, that you should take advantage of and day trade a stock like AMC. So we're for TradingView also, I meant to mention right now I'm not taking any trials because we have the trial version offline. Happy to report we will be delivering the Harmonic Pattern Collection Pro for TradingView that will have the scanner functionality that the Pro platforms have. Like here's the eSignal platform, okay, and that has the scanners, it has all of the indicators and advanced functionality. We have few things on TradingView that we're not able to do currently because of their old Pine script, but the new one now is going to give us that and more. So next week and certainly next Friday, I will be previewing that for everybody. So stay tuned on that. If you do want access, you can send me your information. It just wait till Tuesday, and we'll be able to be back online. And the everybody that has purchased it will get the upgrade free. So you'll get information. You'll get a note, and you'll just have to log in, log out once we upload it. But AMC's been a great winner, and again, something I want to highlight with AMC and a lot of high trending, extremely trending stocks is looking for back-to-back patterns. And setups like this in a summer environment like we have give us really great opportunities to capture what I call high probability profit segments. They are understanding stuff like type 1 reactions, quick moves, but then also recognizing that the reaction is the first part, the reversal, which is the reaction is our type 1 move that we usually get, and then we, with the clearest of structures, get that type 2 move. In this case with AMC, what happened today was back to back patterns, back to back to back. And this is something that I think when people spend enough time with the indicator, with the whole platform, Harmonic Pattern Collection platform, you begin to put this together that, oh, okay, I understand where we should have a reaction, so I aggressively manage that. And if I get a pattern that corresponds, like we have with this crab back here, now we have a bat pattern right on that at target one. So at 46.20 with a bat pattern, that increases my likelihood for at least a return move up back to retest the larger pattern. So you're talking, an understanding of at 46.15 where both the numbers come in that I can target intraday move 2-3 points back up to the terminal bar, maybe as high as the hop level at 49, but here we are 10 minutes to the close. Not a bad day trade. This is happening on minute charts. So, one of the things I posted earlier in the week was, hey, go to your volume list and just go through your volume leaders. That's that little fire icon that right here, the hot lists. Check that out. Go through those. I mean, that's one way to look at it. I'm looking at a lot of the weekly volume leaders. Again, because the larger markets just aren't moving. Let's look at another one that popped really big, and it's again still just coming back for a retest. Here's BlackBerry. All right, and I think this has a ways to go. It's just following the 1-2 framework where now we're going to look for this to come back and retest. For a lot of our gold members, they are aware of this really huge bat pattern, and we came up to target one. I don't know why that's showing. What's going on here? I don't know why that's blurred. Let me take that off. There you go. It's two on top of each other. Okay, so big bat pattern. This is on BlackBerry. Now we're coming back down. And this is 14 and change. Typical reaction move. Now we come back. I would look for this next week, starting at around what's that, about $11, 11.80. It's the big retest of the ABCD. That would then set this thing off for like a nice summer move where you really get going. Uh, AMC did that, and here's another one that did that that I think is really about to take off is Macy's. This one's a little further along, but the thing about that I like about Macy's here on the 4-hour chart, so a lot of these patterns have been doing the type 1 reactions like that in the bearish context of the uptrend, clearly uptrend. And Macy's is one on the daily or weekly. I mean, it's just nonstop. You can't stop that thing. And we've been in front of that a long time. There you go. Let me bring up the monthly. I think the monthly has the pattern, maybe on the other one. There's a couple. Let me look on the e-signal platform because I know there's a monster monthly pattern right here. The only reason why there's not many people watching is because they didn't announce today. But if you guys want to know in the future, just subscribe. Like I said, I'm just getting back into it. So that's why. So here's Macy's on a monthly. And recall it was a shark. It was a couple things back here with the hop level. And Macy's, look at it on a monthly. It's still early in its development. Really developing a tight wedge. Okay, that's like the opposite of what crypto's doing currently. Crypto's sliding the other way. And I would look at this as a retest back up, not only to one of our targets, but we have you got a whole bunch of stuff, folks, at around $42, $43. So break it down. And a stock like Macy's, again, another kind of slow summer stock, but you go on a 5-minute chart, the thing is left and right. Here's a beautiful bat pattern from earlier this morning, yesterday, really developed on the 4-hour. This is on Harmonic Pattern Collection Pro platform. How's e-signal work? Does it ring when the pattern is found? Yeah, if you want to set it up. So a couple questions on it that, yeah, that's what I was saying when I started the discussion. Okay, a lot of the functionality with the more advanced platforms like eSignal, Ninja, MetaTrader, Sierra Charts, they have all of those bells and whistles. Email, you can send to a text, you can get a bell. So that's why I say check out the information. But I'm seeing so many patterns like this repeat over and over again. So for Macy's, check this out. We know it's an uptrend, but from a harmonic pattern perspective, where do we know the big moves come? On the type 2 retest. So we come up, we hit target one, beautiful reaction trade. That's a great one on a 5-minute chart, but that's about done. I would look for that to come back, retest, and this is the point where Macy's would really start to rocket again. With the potential, again, against the daily, this is like AMC before when AMC was at 20. There's a daily, nice Gartley, potential Gartley showing up right now. And that kind of works out with what we're saying. We're looking for a little retest, maybe come back for a type 1, and then go. A lot of these shaping up real nice. Yeah. Well, again, guys, I'm not, someone's asking me how do I, in the chat, how to get the information. Guys, I'm not really promoting it. I think everybody that's here knows what's going on. And really, if you're not with the software, do connect with me. But absolutely, I think everyone knows really kind of what I'm about with the whole patterns because I don't I want people to come with an educated sense and they understand type 1, type 2. Here's go over to another one that I brought back a while back and want to follow up on, which is this double ETF for natural gas, the Boyle. Big breakout today, folks. And remember what I said about having a pattern and a pattern, back-to-back patterns, whether it's bearish, bullish, 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 they're always really profound. I mean, they're when you have something like this, okay, and this kind of reminds me of what really should happen with Bitcoin. All right, we're kind of down here in this no man's land trying to find a bottom. If that was Bitcoin at 30,000, we probably need to do something like this and form another pattern like Boyle did. And Boyle just getting going now. You know, that thing up at right off of the low at 20. Need to keep an eye on that. And natural gas, crude oil, you guys know that this is the place to be. I really think that, you know, if we look at crude oil and energy in general, there was so many harmonic patterns that preceded this. Here's XLE that we're seeing the power of the patterns generate like this. And we move pretty far. You know, I'm still looking for higher prices on this run. Then we get probably a pause. Here's the weekly on the XLE, which is, you know, again, look at so many patterns on the weekly. Here you go. Let me just clean it up. Deep crabs across the board. Gartley's coming up, but this is still 15, 20% higher. So you know we're still in that move. And this is something that this is definitely a space I'm targeting. Everyone's talking inflation. Yes, people want to grab gold. I don't blame them. Silver's probably the better play. But I don't think people are focused enough on what's happening in energy. It's like the quietly creeping. People are realizing when they're paying $5 or $4.50 now, depending on where you live, maybe four. But when it's $5 across the board, which I think is going to happen, you're going to see major catch up on. Here's another. Here's Apache. I think I brought that up a while back. Big bat pattern down there. These are all monthly. There you go. That's look at that. Look at that butterfly, folks. On the monthly, going over 10 years. So where does this go? We just taking it within the framework of harmonic patterns. If we can ride this, get out of the zone, well, just to get out of the zone is 33, but 66 as a target one in a frenzied environment is not crazy to think. How many of these monster monthlies have we seen? Definitely. Check that out. I've got a typo in my description. My name is spelled wrong. FYI. All right. I don't need to see. I told you guys. I'll fix it after. Thanks. Appreciate it. See, I told you. I'm more focused on the charts. Huh. Oh, got Carney. Oh, okay, yeah, got. I don't know why that is. Anyway, all right, another question here. I'll take a couple questions. Um, Show some examples of where you put your stop loss type 1, type 2. Okay, let's go to NASDAQ right now. NASDAQ's running into the close. 358, 2 minutes to go. I'm going to wrap it up here pretty soon, but let me show you. I think that's a great question. It's a fair question. Look at that monthly chart. We're almost on the verge of breaking out all-time new highs. Can you believe that? Very late. Here's the daily. Just let's do a quick review. Look, why are we sideways? Because of this crab pattern that we've been surfing for 6 months. Again, reaction, bang. Now, where's the reversal? We should be getting a reversal. The first shot didn't really do it. Now we're coming back. Do we go to the hop? That is really the thing I want to see. Do we go to the hop at 14,365 and then go down? We're close. Look at where we are now with HSI and our RSI indicators. Yeah, we're almost done, and we're now clipping the new high for the day almost. But this will come in probably next week. HSI, sorry, like that. And maybe RSI comes up one more. So if we get a hard push up here, I could see that materializing where you get triple confirmation at the hop. It's something we treat that the same way. So let me show you an example, something I posted this morning on the 233 tick. Where'd it go? Here you go. All right, great. So I posted this a couple of patterns early this morning that had HSI on the 5 minute, a couple of really nice signals here. Here's the first one from this morning. So pre-market ABCD, couple of HSIs, somewhere, pretty clear, right? Hop at 13,939, arrow, other arrows around 13,940. We're looking. So, and that was a 5 minute chart, which is, the other thing I always say about when you're day trading, you want to know where the last 5 minute HSI signal was. HSI is Harmonic Strength Index, and it works really well with type 1, type 2 reversals. And we see that we're retesting that bat right now, but this was the HSI from this morning down here. Okay, right in that 13,940 level. And the thing I like to cross that with on a really short time frame is a 233 tick, which is what I was doing today. So basically 13,940, that's the big number. And then look at the little number. And I don't have, oh, you turkey. There it is. So let me get the bullish ABCDs up. So then this was the other tweet of why I was looking in there. That 5 minute HSI was in that level. And then here's the other tweet, okay, of multiple ABCDs. So let me walk through, because the question is, how do you put the stop loss in? And how do you know where to position that? So here were the three shots here, a couple of ABCDs, all in that 5 minute level. And the other thing I was saying is, yeah, scalp when slow, day trading, and that was my point with these setups. So the way that we handle that is ask yourself, where does the confirmation come in, and is it the first time or second time a pattern's complete? That determines where you put your stop. And I'm going to show you guys a couple of, probably two here, two good approximation methods that you can use with any zone, with my software, or even just projecting it out. We want to wait for terminal bar, right? We're looking for where the pattern completes. In my program, the way that we design that is with the terminal bar, the sun icon. And where did that go? Where did you go? There you go. So there's terminal bar size. Let's make that big. Let's make it 44. So there's the sun icon. Unfortunately, it writes over. Let's go 23 so you can definitely see it. And the price bar. So I think we can all agree that this is the first time here in that area where the yellow is the 5 minute area. So that's my big time frame. I'm looking for HSI to give me something. There's the first time it hits. Here's where the arrow hits. That's again 233 tick. It's a really small time frame, but I'm using that to enter in this area. Okay, 940 was my minimum number. This thing goes as low as 924. So this is still valid, but it's just reaction. It's just material for a reaction. Why? It's the first time. So if I'm going to be in that trade at the terminal bar +1, all right, and your numbers are 1395, and the hop level, harmonic optimal price, is around 21, you should assume that this thing should really not take out on any kind of pullback, essentially the same distance as the zone. A really easy way is just to take, one thing that I do is just take the distance, because it depends on where the terminal bar completes, but I just take the distance that the algo spit out and say, okay, that distance is about 4 or 5 points, and then project that down so that my first stop should not exceed maybe 18, 17. So let's say it blows right through or checks right back against you. You know you're wrong within a really short period of time. And you're sitting there, okay, You're at this point targeting a reaction to target 1, 56, 57. I think that's, pretty fair. So throughout the day today, we had 1, 2 retests. I think we had a third. I think there was the first one was or even earlier. And let me take off. Let me just isolate just bullish patterns, and then I'll go to that bearish. So again, that's the way to look at it. Here's another one where we would be looking for, and I was looking for a full retest to seal the deal on the day. We never got it, but we had another type 1 ABCD trigger basically back in the 5-minute zone. Remember, that 5-minute post that I put up this morning was because of this HSI. And yeah, and there was a 5-minute ABCD down there too. All of that came together. It was sloppy, no doubt, but in a summer session like today, don't be surprised if that happens. You want to trigger and line yourself up where you have an arrow, hop level, and really focus down with like a 233 tick or even a 30-second tick, 20-second tick. Those are great charts. I don't think a lot of people look at like a 20-second chart, but you're going to see a lot of great harmonic patterns on it. There you go. Like, look, where did we started today here, and we had a beautiful shark with a couple ABCDs. And that's a 20-second chart here with that shark. And look at the 1-2 that happened. Type 1, bang, back, type 2, and then you go. And that's the thing over and over again I'm highlighting. One of the things that I'm doing and I will be doing, let me pull up the calendar. I want to share this with everybody. Looks like I think on the 22nd or the 23rd, I'm going to do a full day of a full seminar, live trading, okay, where I spend about 2 hours going over type 1, type 2 strategies. Clearly, the type 2s are the better and bigger moves, but type 1s are great. Especially crypto type 1s have a tendency to go to target 2s. But I want to isolate the conditions that highlight those situations, and that'll happen on the I think the 22nd. So check back with me next week, and I'll be posting stuff on my Twitter and Facebook, a bit more information about that. The information, we were supposed to do that a few weeks ago, and what I'm trying to do is time that with the release of the TradingView platform. So the new TradingView platform will look like this with scanner and pattern functions and the alerts. And so we'll go back to the TradingView platform. So it'll be, web based, but the beautiful thing is we'll have all that scanner functionality and technology that will sort through what we need and just pop up the best options to the top of the list. That's the goal. I certainly, if I don't get it done by the 22nd, I would think that by the end of the month, this new version will be ready. So that's available to everybody. Everyone that purchased the program already, you guys will be able to come to this course. For the new people, it'll be a sign up, either purchase or a sign up. I will send out that information over the weekend. But that's the goal. I mean, the type 1, type 2, I think that's really final frontier for harmonic patterns. If we can get people to recognize those differences, then they understand where the bigger pattern setups, the best pattern setups come together. So that's what I want to do. Let me come back to some of those other ones like 30 bar rule, because the 30 bar rule is, definitely, those are strategies I will do in that course. 30 bar rule is just something where we look for reactions and responses. If it doesn't materialize in 30 bars, then we're probably not looking at what we think we're looking at. These are the scenarios and kind of limitations that help us make better decisions. And that's the whole thing, because a lot of times we can pick out great patterns, but if they do nothing, they're probably not going to yield anything. And that's where the management being aggressive and getting out with a small loss, break even, or small profit in the whole scope of the strategy makes the difference. So more information that next week. Get with me, folks. Best place to do is go to harmonictrader.com and sign up for the basic membership. Of course, you can get me on Twitter. You guys can get me on YouTube here, and then sign up as a basic member. That's where everyone should start and take advantage of all the free resources, then subscribe, then take the course, because that course material will be advanced information. I won't be going over uh, basics like difference between a Gartley and a bat. I will probably highlight pattern specific strategies, like why a certain strategy would work from a bat versus a Gartley because of the structure, but this is the place to start. So get with the basic membership, and everyone else, bring your questions for Carney next week, and we'll be back Friday, so a little bit earlier, and get it into a rhythm here. So thanks again, everybody. Great session. Appreciate everyone. And you have any questions, reach me at harmonictrader@gmail, and get with me on the course in about 10 days. Look for more information on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks again. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll catch you next week.